We have bad news, but in reverse, followed by marriage in reverse. So here's the thing. It's not, they had plans. They actually did look at you as being a potential. They saw you as being someone that they wanted to commit to long term. But the thing is now you realize how fickle and easily convinced this person is and how much work they actually have to do on themselves, that it's not necessarily bad news to you that this didn't work out at this time. Not to say there isn't a chance that it won't work out ever, but at this point of the game, the crystal clear game, you're realizing that the good news is you just dodged a bullet. They were looking for a marriage, which isn't obviously going to happen. You possibly were looking for marriage, maybe even with this person. But the good news is that you avoided a whole lot of trauma and healing and possibly heartbreaks along the way while they work through this. And you're free to continue to do what you need to do and to focus on yourself. And you're open now. You're open to love. You're open to new connections while this person figures themselves out. Now, you may also be getting a lot of phone calls, possibly being inboxed by random people that you've never talked to or met before. This person may be trying to hear your voice. They may not even say anything. They may just hang up because they don't know what to say. We have love child in reverse, again, with the marriage. This person looked at you and saw family. Potential for a family situation, children, or combining families if you already have children. But we are at this phase now with the cycle closing of moving on, letting go, loving you, free. So this person still loves you. They still look at you as their ideal, as their perfect partner, as their counterpart, as their divine match. But they see that the cycle has closed. And it's a learning lesson. It's a learning lesson for them as well. This is a very pivotal moment in their lives where they are very much aware of their own trauma, their own issues. They're very much aware of their insecurities and their self-doubt and their lack of better judgment that brought them to this point. And they are very much invested now in doing that hard work on themselves. Whether you ever see it or not, or they ever are able to come back into your energy or not, they know now that in order to be happy and to find love, they're hoping with you, but ultimately with someone that will match their energy, that they're hoping that by doing the work, they can have that finally. They're doing it for themselves finally. And we have cope in reverse. So when I look at this, because the coping card shows like leaning in on like addictions, alcohol, drugs, addictive habits, this person is finally letting go of those coping mechanisms to work through this, and they're facing it very mature. They're working through their heart space and dealing with the matters. Now, another thing we have here is pregnancy, fake news. This person may have had several people that they were dealing with at the time that they were dealing with you as well. This isn't for everyone, but for some of you, they may have thought that one of their other partners or situationships had gotten pregnant. Turns out that that is fake news. That was just something, it may have been a scare, maybe they thought they were pregnant, or they faked that they were pregnant in order not to lose this person. Then we have, this came out twice. So the first time it came out, I did shove it back in because I'm like, this doesn't really seem to pertain to the message in regards to love, but it came out again. So I find that it was important to share, but it does say funeral. Now this may be an actual funeral or something coming up into the energy. I am leaning more towards the end, the death of an old version of ourselves, a death of patterns, a death of toxic habits and traits that one brings to a relationship. So that's the energy I'm feeling and how this card actually relates to the spread. But for some of you, you may have just experienced the death of someone close to you, or perhaps someone is sick and they could be in hospice. Perhaps someone is on their way out, and right now is definitely not the time for you or possibly this other person to be entertaining any kind of relationship. For that reason, you're in a very vulnerable state, you're emotional, you need to focus on your heart and your healing. But that is for a group in this collective. The next couple cards we got out was from my holiday deck. We got the card December, followed by Miracle on 34th Street, and It's a Wonderful Life. So something in December is going to come about in the form of a miracle. And whatever it is that is coming into your energy that's in the form of a miracle, which, by the way, is kind of, it's interesting because it seems like recently in the last several readings that I've done in regards to our energy and love, we keep pulling on cards from different decks that state a miracle or a blessing. So I do feel that this collective is coming into something that is going to be, I don't want to say life-changing, but it's going to be wonderful. Something is going to, it's a wonderful life. I mean, you remember that movie, how everything seemed like it was so horrible, and then at the end of the movie, it's like everything just kind of pulled together, and you just counted your blessings, and you like showed gratitude, and you realized how wonderful your life is. That's the feeling that I'm getting that's going to happen this month. Something's going to click for you, for them, for both of you, that is going to make sense. All this closing of cycles and learning of your own personal toxic traits and habits and growing from those things is bringing you to a new cycle where you're going to finally be treated and valued and loved exactly the way that divine intended for you to be. It was